Mine was a lot different from Robyn's reception as well. It was really a simple event. Our wedding day was sad. It was a little bit sad. I hadn't seen Kody for a long time. We'd just been talking on the phone. We hadn't connected. I hated my dress.
When we got married, the culture was really about exonerating the first wife and keeping the second, third, or however many wives sort of quiet.
It was important in my mind to know that I was not just marrying Kody, I was marrying a family. In a plural lifestyle, I guess you'd say, that is what happens. A girl coming into a family who's just there for the guy is messed up. She doesn't understand what this is about.
I have a lot of expectations and not enough appreciation, to be honest. And so he's walking into a hostile environment sometimes now. I don't know if I care if it's perfect anymore or if it's what he wants anymore. It's like, it's just so much work. What I get jealous about most is time and where he spends his time. So when Robyn came into the family, I was shocked at how many times she disagreed with you. And it completely shocked me that you loved her even though she was just arguing with you.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. We are only a few days away from the new season of Sister Wives, and I know that this is one of your favorite shows on this channel, and I have been addicted to this show since the very beginning, and I am at times completely engaged and enmeshed in all of these conflicts that happen in the family. At other times, I'm desperately screaming at the television and telling these women that they should leave Kody and go. At other times, I'm cheering on their relationships with one another. And this season, we might start to really see some conflict and some division and a big fraction in the family. If you just watched the intro, you know that this video is going to be about Christine and Robyn. Christine and Robyn are going to come to a head this season. Christine and Robyn's relationship has been extremely complicated from the very beginning. Christine was pregnant, very pregnant with Truly when Robyn was courting her husband.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so I'm sorry, but with Robyn coming along,
It just changes everything.
It just changes everything.
It shakes everything up.
We all know that this isn't all rainbows and flowers when they're going through this process of seeing me fall in love with somebody else.
And I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. It's a little bit difficult for me.
Kody had a wife that was 8-9 months pregnant, and he decided he was going to add a girlfriend into his life and then become engaged to her and marry her all within that time frame, to the extent that Christine had Truly, and he was barely able to be present in that delivery because he was so consumed with Robyn. Shortly after Christine had Truly, who, by the way, is my favorite of the Sister Wives kids. She is so hilarious. He took off with Robyn and went on this massive honeymoon, a honeymoon that Christine never got to have with Kody. Christine and Kody's relationship was a very uncomfortable one to start out with. Kody was not interested in Christine for a very long time. Christine was interested in him for a very long time. Kody has described his connection to her and his inability to be attracted to her. In fact, in their book, they talk about how Kody got disgusted with her eating nachos and didn't like her weight. Like he thought she was a little bit too chubby. Yes, that's right. Christine is come a long way. When we met her in the very beginning, she was so happy being a sister wife. She loved her place as the third wife. She was the dutiful homemaker. She did the homeschooling. She was so engaged and involved in the family and really seemed to have a good spot within the family structure. Robyn came in. Not only was Robyn younger, she was thinner and attractive, and Kody seemed to be very attracted to Robyn. And Christine was very pregnant and feeling insecure.
Kody and Robyn, they got engaged and everything, and I thought, oh, that's nice, they're engaged now, so now it's more official. I found out that Kody's still the engagement with a kiss. And I freaked. And so to me, the fact that he had kissed Robyn was devastating.
And I found out that Christine was upset. I remember being really upset because I knew I'd hurt you. But I didn't know it would break my heart as well.
Can you blame her? Okay. Robyn has made this point throughout the years to claim that she's there for more than just Kody, that she's there for her sister wives. And yet, everything that she does and all of the conflicts that she has do not show a woman that is there for the sister wives, nor does it show a woman that is there for anything more than just Kody. To the extent that now, in the middle of a pandemic, it is Robyn that is getting the bulk of Kody's time, his resources, and his energy. The excuse given is that Robyn has the youngest children, and so he needs to be with those children. And yet, there's a 10-year-old girl at home that doesn't have a father around, 16-year-old at Janelle's that doesn't see her father as frequently either. But because the youngest kids are at Robyn's, somehow that means that that's where he needs to spend his time and his resources, which doesn't make sense to me. Truly is equally as important to this family as Robyn's children are. And then you've got Isabel, who is like a senior in high school, and she has a dad that didn't show up for her. You have 2 kids of hers that have seemingly been utterly neglected through this pandemic, Isabel and Truly, who are still underage, still living at home, and still need a father. But because they're not the youngest, Kody is not there with them, allegedly. Now, there's been a lot of tension between these two. Christine, if you saw that intro, has had issues with jealousy. He has been very clear throughout his time with Robyn that he prefers her. No matter what he says or does, it's evident that he prefers Robyn over all the others, because the way that they came into this relationship was one where Kody was smitten with her. His relationship with Janelle was effectively arranged. His relationship with Christine was effectively arranged. These were not relationships where he was head over heels and attracted to these women. They were just to get him to the celestial kingdom. But with Robyn, he was enamored with her, loved her, was like obsessed with how she looked and how beautiful she was. And she called him her soulmate. The connection that Robyn and Kody had was undeniable, and it was also very palpable and felt by Christine, because one, she's pregnant when this is going on. He effectively abandons her for Robyn, and that relationship between the two of them has never recovered as a result. So this season, you see the two of them finally come to heads. And here's the thing, is throughout the years, other marriages around Kody have crumbled. His marriage with Mary it's in name only. These two have, in my opinion, no connection. He is not physically sleeping at her house. They don't have much of a relationship, more than, say, transactional at this point. They're married celestial or in the kingdom, but they're not married at all. They live effectively separate lives. Then you have Janelle. And Janelle and Kody also have a very platonic relationship. She's not having any more children. Her last child is at home. Savannah is 16 years old. All her other kids are over the age of 18. Many of them have moved away. Maddie has children. You've got Logan, who just finished his MBA, and he has a fiance. You have Hunter, who is out in graduate school. You have Garrison, who just graduated from high school. So you have all these kids that are out in the world. Janelle has Savannah at home, and essentially that's it, right? So he doesn't need to be around Janelle as much. Janelle's a free spirit, and Janelle is she's sort of like an empty nester at this point. And then you have Christine, who still has a child at home who's 10 or 11 that needs a father, that doesn't have a father. And so I'm guessing a lot of the tension here is coming down to the fact that Robyn's kids are getting more attention than her kids. Not only that, Robyn's getting more attention than Christine. And Christine, who was once enamored and in love with polygamy, seems to be done.
Do you want to have a relationship with your sister wife?
I'm sure everybody hates me all the time. We don't have to do anything together.
Now, Christine makes the claim that everyone hates me. I'm done with this. She also claims that, you know, she doesn't have to spend any time with Robyn. And Robyn's sort of response to that is,
you know that she's actually trying to sabotage your relationship with Kody? You can't trust her.
I'm always just looking for a fight, apparently.
she doesn't trust Christine because she's trying to sabotage her relationship with Kody. Who do you think is doing more sabotaging here? Christine, who doesn't get any time with Kody ever, or Robyn, who has manipulated and controlled the amount of time that Kody has spent with her for 10 years? Who do you think has sabotaged this family more than anyone else in terms of how it ruined the dynamics of the family? I think Robyn. And it's not the fault of Robyn, it's the fault of polygamy. Polygamy is unnatural. It's not happiness for anyone. It's suffering, it's sacrifice, it's single moms, it's wives simply to breed and produce. It is not this idyllic situation where everyone's happy and gleeful and they're so happy and they stuff down their jealousy. That's not the truth. Like, they have committed their lives to unhappiness because they know that in the celestial kingdom they'll be together and all be happy. It's this ridiculous fantasy that has no basis in reality and leads to so much pain in the world. And after 10 years, this family just can't hide it anymore. So now we're finally starting to see the cracks in this family, and you have Christine finally saying, I want to leave.
I'm going to tell him I freaking want to move back to Utah, even though the girls don't want to.
Maybe the drama problem in our lives is me.
I can't do marriage with Kody anymore. I don't want to.
You don't get to give up like that.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Christine's a vibrant woman. I don't believe she's sabotaging the relationship between Robyn and her. I also don't believe that Christine is happy. I think Christine should leave. I don't think Kody would care, honestly. And if Christine's kids are being neglected, can you blame her for wanting to go? And can you really believe that Sob and Robyn is the one that is the root, that is the one being sabotaged? Or do you think it's Christine? Or do you really just think it's Kody because he's a jerk? Polygamy makes these women fight. It pins them against each other, and Kody pins the women against each other because Kody doesn't want to be the one that's the problem here. But it is Kody that at the root of all of this is the problem, because sharing a man is not natural and they shouldn't have to be forced to be in the situation, but they've been brainwashed, conditioned, and put into this world because Christine and Robyn are born and bred polygamists. Can you blame Christine for being fed up, for wanting to leave, and for finally confronting Robyn? And do you believe when Robyn says that she says that Christine is sabotaging her relationship? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.